welcome to the Truth of the Matter. I am your hostess, Charmaine the Goddess, and today we're going to be talking about trusting the pause and how stillness can open the door to real transformation. Joining me for this conversation is my good friend and fellow light worker and spiritual life coach, also a business consultant. She's just an overall badass, y'all. Kia Husbands. Kia, tell the people a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Yes. I'm a spiritual life coach. So I assist people with raising their vibration, changing their lives, creating new realities for themselves. But in addition to that, some of the people I work with also have businesses. So I have businesses of my own too. And so I work with people to help build and create whatever it is that's gonna help them to fulfill whatever they're here to do, as well as to fuel what's happening in their life. So that's really just about me.
Okay. And piggybacking off the theme of completely changing your life and, getting on topic of trusting the pause. Can you share a moment when a pause or delay completely changed the direction of your life for the better?
Mm. For me, it was the pandemic.
Mm.
That whole shutdown of everything. It was like I felt that something needed to shift, but I was scared, and obviously I was in a job that was secure from what they told me, but I wasn't feeling it. And when everything shut down, I had no choice but to sit with the pause. And there was so much uncertainty, but it was almost like my soul wanted me to have that pause so much that I didn't feel the same sense of fear and panic that everyone did of, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? The world stopped. I was relieved. Um, I wasn't sure what was to come, but I knew that a pause of like this magnitude was going to shift something big in my life, and I was open to that. And so it forced me to go on a journey to really figure out what it is that I was missing. And so that's when all these things started to show up for me. So during that pause, it was like I was still enough for the things that needed to find me, to help me, to assist me, to to show up. So that was probably the biggest. And from that point on, my life completely changed. I did not look at the things that I did for work the same way. I more than anything was valuing my time and my energy and the people that I was spending my time and my energy with. And from that point on, I knew that it was going to be different. So I feel like the pause was good, but I understand why some at that time, I'm not going to be insensitive to that, but I'm speaking from my experience, and my experience was that was a blessing for me.
I think the pandemic was a forced pause for everybody,
Yeah.
especially the people who had been going, and never took time to sit down and see exactly where they were even going. Now, I have an experience that is a little bit different. And y'all just bear with me, okay? So, I have always been a truth seeker. Since I was a child, I was a truth seeker. And I worked with maybe two mentors before I met Elliot. And one of the mentors that I was working with, she was basically like, you need somebody who's closer to you. So she recommended me to somebody that was in her network. And I went to the person because I could have, scheduled something over the phone, but I wanted to go in person to kind of get a feel for her energy and for her to get a feel for my energy as like a mentor. Well, turns out she was willing to work with me. However, and at first I was in a place of like, oh, I really need this mentor. I really need a mentor. I need somebody to help me figure out the truth. Why the fuck are we here and what are we doing? What's the purpose? What am I supposed to be doing? Why do I feel so led and so guided to assist people, right? And I met this lady who turned out to be a voodoo priestess. And because I was on the search for truth, I was like, wow, if I could learn from a priestess, that would be great. That would be wonderful. And then something inside of me, my spirit said, are you really trying to be out here cutting goats' heads off and sacrificing them to the gods? Something within me said, Paul, Charmaine, wait a minute. I know you want truth. You are seeking this truth. We understand. But this is not the truth. So that pause changed me from going completely low vibrational, because a few months later is when I discovered Aaron, who led me to Elliot, who led me back to source. And I'm on a high vibrational path now. So not being desperate in the energy of desperation, not rushing to just do something, do something, do something, but really having a sense of awareness. This don't really feel right, Charmaine. Take a minute, pause.
Mm-hmm.
It changed a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
What beliefs about success or timing did you have to release in order to embrace stillness? Or are you still working to embrace stillness? Because I am.
Yeah, I feel like that's a constant thing, especially when it comes to beliefs, because sometimes we don't even recognize we have certain beliefs until something kind of comes up and you're like, you have to look at it. But it does take a level of self-awareness for you to recognize, like, maybe there's some types of beliefs that I have that's associated with this situation, but maybe beliefs that worked for me back then, or maybe they didn't, but they were impressed upon you. And now you have the choice whether you want to keep going with it. So, um, one of the beliefs I had was that I had to work hard to get anything, or you have to work twice as hard to get half as far, or whatever they say. So those types of things of like this implied need to work hard or to struggle, like if there is no struggle, did you really earn it? Those
Yeah.
were beliefs for that I had about success that I didn't realize until I was hearing it, and I realized how it felt in my body when even I would hear content that I was listening to, or maybe my parents or friends say it. I'm like, I don't really like that. I don't think I really want to work hard, you know? And so that helped me to expand and open up to, so what if I didn't have to work hard to receive the same thing or whatever it is that I want, right? So when you start to go into those cycles, you'll find people that will resonate with that frequency of not having to work hard with things. So sometimes it will cause the belief to come up, and then you'll need to see something different in order for you to now rewrite that belief. So working hard was one of them. And then, oh, that I need to be doing something. So like I would sit to meditate, and my mind is going, because I'm like, I should be doing something. I should be cleaning. I should be working. I should be
That
doing
is
something.
something.
Right. And so even thinking the belief that, me being idle and relaxed means that nothing is happening. It means that there's no progress being made. But that is false, right? Well, it's false because I choose to believe that it's false, but it's false also because that's the truth. Like, progress is being made even when you are still, but it's how you perceive that makes kind of like, I guess, for the trajectory, even the speed at which things happen, like it can still happen, but how much resistance is involved? Like, did you have to like get through it in order to get to the end, or did you kind of coast through to the finish line? Because either way, you still got to the end point. So I would really kind of get into these thought cycles, which I've been working on training my mind during meditation of, there's nothing I need to be doing now, because guess what? I scheduled meditation from X time to X time, which means anything that comes up can
This
wait
is the
till,
doing right
right,
now.
can wait till outside of that. So that was um one. And then I got to talk about the money. That money is indicative of
Talk
success.
about the money, honey.
Yeah, yeah, and I know we all know that, because there's spectrums, right? Some people are on the fence of like, oh, you got a lot of money, you must be evil, you must have did something, to get it that wasn't good, or like that if you have money, it means you are better than the rest, so to speak. Like there was this belief that I had had somewhere in there, which when I would say it out loud sounded ridiculous. But
You're not the only one with that belief.
right. But my actions were in line with that belief that, oh, well, a lot of money means I have to sacrifice something, I have to do something negative, or me not having enough money or enough money means that I'm not good enough, I'm not successful, they're better than. So the truth is, like, there, it really isn't even about the amount of money, but it's the belief itself in that, whether it's hard to make or that you're not that worth it, you're not at the level of value that is supposed to reap this number that you have. Like all of it was BS. More than anything else, I realized a lot of those things, those stories I was telling myself was just making me feel bad and keeping me exactly where I was, which is where I didn't want to be. So
It was a
yeah,
self-fulfilling prophecy.
self-fulfilling prophecy. That is where I learned that beliefs really do dictate what's happening around you. And so that's why you have to do the work to notice when there are beliefs attached to the things that are happening in your life, because you really are the one that's creating it over and over again.
I agree with you completely, especially about money equaling your level of success. For me, I had to release the belief that I was behind in some kind of way. Like, oh, I should be further than this by now. Or they're doing this. It's always the comparison thing. They're doing this, and I know I can do it too. And it felt like I was kind of forced to come up with my own version of success. Like, what does success mean to me? Because my version of success or my definition of success could be completely different from your definition of success. So, not attaching money to how successful you are, or not attaching money to your worthiness, that was something that I struggled with real bad. And I'm going to be
Mhm.
completely honest, I have not fully released that,
Yeah.
but I am a work in progress.
Yeah. Yeah. Because something like that is not it's generations of that, right? So like you've heard it, your mom and dad heard it, probably your grandparents heard it, probably your great grand a version of it based off of their circumstance, but lack nonetheless. And so
Yes.
like it's not as quick of a, oh, let me just shift this belief and I'm good to go. No, there are instances where it will show up, but if you are aware, now you can call it like you see it,
And
and
rewire.
rewire it. Choose
Yeah.
to change, choose to make choices that are in alignment of what you would actually prefer instead.
So, how have you evolved because of a season of waiting? How has it grown you?
Mm. Um, it has given me opportunities to sit with myself. And I know that that is a tricky one. Like a lot of people resist sitting with themselves, and call it what you want. Sitting with yourself, meditation, a walk in the park, whatever it is, it's you being with self and you being alone with your thoughts. And I think like seeing my thoughts as they came up as just simply thoughts, and then looking at them and choosing whether I wanted to either take action about it or, let it go. Like that practice, it's constant. And so I've had to practice meditation and get into this habit of not seeing everything that comes up as like, oh, I need to take an action on it right away. It's just something that I just need to notice and I can choose what I want to do about it. But not judging myself based off of those things, taking it as what it is, just a thought. Like we are not our thoughts. You see them, you notice them, you choose what to do with them. But I've learned that a lot of the stuff that comes through is really kind of nonsense. It's a lot of noise. It's a lot of like background static
You do
stuff.
not have to believe every thought that you have.
Right. You don't have to believe. And if we're thinking from a vibrational standpoint, there are low vibrational thoughts and high vibrational thoughts. There's not good or bad, but you can feel the difference based off of how you feel when it comes through. But like sitting with myself and mastering that, it's gonna have it like has me now looking forward to moments of stillness because it's almost like I could do a check-in with myself. And it's really peaceful when you grow to appreciate it that way. I didn't appreciate it in the beginning. I will admit, I could not be in this feeling of I should be doing more stuff. Sitting is not beneficial, but it's sitting in stillness that really is the most beneficial because there's things happening beyond just sitting there. Yeah.
I've evolved in becoming more patient.
Mhm.
I was a microwave girl. I want it fast. I want it hot. I want it
Yeah.
ready right
That's
now.
the
Call me
world we
Little
live
Caesars,
in.
hot and ready.
Yeah.
Okay. I want it quick, 5 minutes in and out. But things don't work like that. And when things do happen like that, they're not sustainable. They're not built
Right.
on a solid, long lasting foundation. So it'll leave as soon as it came,
Mhm.
as soon as fast as it comes. I had to learn, much like the phases of the moon, that things are cyclical and you do not eat the fruit the same day you plant the seed.
Mhm.
So sitting back and allowing things to unfold naturally and organically without trying to manipulate this outcome and manipulate that outcome, especially when things are kind of beyond your control. The pause has definitely taught me to be patient because a lot of times when I'm impatient and I try to force something, I end up working twice as hard
Mhm.
with no result. To where if I would have let things happen organically, I would have reaped the fruits of my labor in divine timing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know people hate divine timing because divine timing never seems like it's fast enough for us.
Right. Most definitely. It's never fast enough. And we want to we it's we created a society that is built on
Microwave
that. Yeah,
society.
so it's not our fault, but it's our responsibility to create something otherwise. Like our others created it, now we need to uncreate it and create something better. But like yeah, that patience part is really key, and nature is one of those things that will quickly humble you and bring you back to like there's nothing you can do about that seed you planted for the apple tree. You got to wait. That's there, you don't have a choice about it, but you are way more appreciative and grateful for what you see when you've gotten to witness the process that it's gone through to get where it is now.
Beautifully put. So when we are in the midst of a pause and we're like, I need this happening, I need this, I need some motion. Okay, I need some motion, I need some action, I need something going on because it's getting real boring out here. When you are in that energy, what daily habits do you practice to keep you grounded?
Hmm. So routines. And if you don't have routines, it's time to start them. You need to create some sort of um, you could use the word ritual if you want to, but when you wake up, brush your teeth, and do whatever it is that you do, there are things that you do consistently, right? And so those routines, they almost calm your mind, calm your nervous system because it's what you're used to. You can almost predict how it's going to go. So I just say that to explain that routines are more important than you think, no matter how simple they are. They don't have to be extravagant, but for me, my morning routine, and then I have my evening routine. So the routines bring me back to, okay, like I know this thing is constant, and this is the thing that I can make the choice to do every day. So the routines, and then like going back to my basics, like food, vitamins, water, exercise, meditation, and prayer. That's really my basics. Yeah.
Non-negotiable.
Right, non-negotiables. And even when stuff is chaotic, sometimes we'll do the thing where we say like, well, I don't have time. I have so much things to do. Like I can't possibly. That is your mind, your mind going berserk. And we have to remember we're not our mind, right? So we're the ones that are commanding our mind to do what we needed to do when we needed to do it. But if it's not functioning to the best of its ability due to lack of sustenance, lack of sleep, whatever it is, it you can't trust it to really be making the decisions anyhow. So going back to your basics will help you to even recognize if there's something that's a little bit off, and to help your body recalibrate, readjust. So like we have to remember we're souls inside bodies, so we still need to take care of our bodies, which includes our nervous system, which includes our mental, which includes the emotion, all that hoopla together. It works all, together. So we just need to make sure and go back to the basics. So that, and then nature, like we talked about, whatever you got to do to be out in nature. Like even if you don't feel like it, open a window, step out the door for a second, right? We are grateful enough to be able to go inside and outside whenever we feel, most of us. So don't take that for granted about how therapeutic that could be, just you walking outside. So it's those basic things that I feel like for me help me to really stay grounded when I don't know what the heck is going on in my life. Yeah.
And that kind of goes back to what you were saying about being able to sit with yourself and having to do some form of introspection, because you have to be aware enough to say, all right, I'm tripping. I'm off balance. I'm ungrounded right now. I need to get myself back together. To
Mhm.
even take those steps, you have to have that level, some level of self-awareness. For me, two simple things that I do almost on a daily basis, especially the first one, is connecting with my breath throughout the day. For some reason, I find myself holding my breath
Mhm.
throughout the day sometimes. And when I notice that, I'm like, I'm not being present in the moment. I'm somewhere else completely. So when I
Yeah.
realize that, okay, I'm not being focused in the moment and I'm holding my breath, I stop and I'll just take a few deep breaths, slow, deep breaths to really bring myself back to center, bring myself back to focus. And then I created an anchor statement to where when my mind wants to play games and it wants to try to trick me out of knowing my greatness and who I am, I say all is well, all is and will be well, and that brings me right back to who I am in this present moment as this divine creator, Charmaine the goddess.
Yes, the breath. I love the breath. The breath for me is in my meditation, and so like, but you like you said, a lot of women don't even realize like we hold in our stomach a lot, like,
Yes.
and so breathing, like when you breathe, I suggest that people also notice the feelings in your body. This is why yoga is so powerful too. When you breathe, you can feel the areas of your body where you're tense, where you're holding stuff, and if you can like breathe and relax, it will help to relax you, like your stomach, your butt, your shoulders, like whatever is happening with that. Yeah, the breath is a
Clenching your jaws
your
together.
jaw, all that. That is the breath is a really, really powerful tool as well. So I totally agree.
So we talked about pausing, but how do you differentiate between intuitive guidance, that intuitive divine pause, and fear-based hesitation?
So okay, so usually the intuitive stuff comes first, like quick. And for me, the clarity of it sometimes is so quick, I'll miss it. And then fear-based thoughts might just slip in there. So I say that to say, like, it's very common for us to get all of the above at the same time.
Because
But
it happens like
because
this.
it happens so quickly. And
That's
if
why
you're
you gotta
not up
go with
on
the
game,
first thing.
right, if you're not up on game, if you're not regularly practicing, like it'll be more challenging for you to notice. Again, that's why meditation is important. So when it comes to my intuitive guidance, s- it'll feel soft and almost like matter of fact, like simple, almost too simple, and I might question it, but it doesn't make me feel scared or fearful or worried. But if it's fear based, usually it's created from like I'll hear it, but then I'll start to spiral on what could happen. And it's usually based on something I've experienced in the past. So, like, I'm basically making it up. Like, this could go X, Y, and Z, but I don't really know.
Right.
So, it takes me from making a decision based off of my intuition, which usually is very quick, into maybe spiraling for days at a time which would be the fear-based stuff. So for people, you kind of have to feel into what the differences are for you. But the fear-based stuff is just going to make you feel uneasy, unsettled. Anxiety might come up, which is worry about the future. Maybe even some depression, worry from the past. And so like the fear-based stuff is just predicated on things that you might have experienced before or seen, that just comes in to tell you that whatever it is you're supposed to do, you shouldn't do it. Whereas the intuitive guidance is going to be like, do this. And you're
Right.
like, really? Is it that simple?
And then and it will be something so simple that you have overthought so much that you didn't even think about this ground zero solution.
Right.
I know for me, I can tell if it is fear based because it's something that I've been repeating for the past few days anyway. It's like
Mhm.
nothing, no new ideas are coming up. It's just something that I've been repeating because if my emotions are attached to this. My
Mhm.
energy, I've given so much low vibrational energy to this because I don't see a solution. And then I could be washing the dish. Well, I don't do the dishes, my kids do. But I could be I don't know, on a trail, or I could be in the shower, and then the solution that I have kind of released, it'll just drop down and I'll go, oh, okay. Well, yeah, I think I will pause here and gain more clarity before I take an action, opposed to I'm not doing none of this shit no more because I'm upset, I'm emotional, and I'm just gonna take a hiatus. Cause that's where I was a few
Right.
weeks ago. And it was like, am I taking this pause because it feels aligned, or am I taking this pause because I'm emotional
Scared.
right now?
Yeah. 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 No, that's yeah. Yeah, it happens like that. It's a little bit of a spiral. And then, sometimes you end up realizing you just go back to what you were going to do in the first place.
Yes.
If you think about the
Yes.
decisions you're making, the first thing you thought of, you're like, oh, I should have gone with my first mind. Your first mind is your intuition.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's one small action that listeners can take today to honor a divine pause in their own life? The people who right now are feeling like I need some motion, I don't know, it just seems like nothing is moving, nothing is working, nothing is shifting. Everybody keeps saying I'm in the midst of a transformation, but it's not happening and it's not coming. What is one small action step that you can give them?
Mm. Action step, well, outside of the other stuff that I said, I think I really want to emphasize, try not to see it as a waste of time, because when during this pause, when you don't know what to do, or like you're waiting for a result, you should see this as the ultimate investment in yourself. So not only are you going to go back to your basics, like the food, the water, all that stuff, while you're doing the pause, because you still got to survive, you still got to live, but through it, like, this is going to be your time to strengthen your communication with the universe. And so they're going to guide you on the different ways that your time can be used, that's in your highest good. So you're really just there to enjoy the process. And while it may not feel good in the moment, you spiraling on I'm not where I need to be is creating more of I'm not where I need to be. So my tip is, try not to see it as the waste of the time of time, and see it as this is your opportunity to strengthen. If you want to call it the universe, that's fine, but it really is you.
And even asking yourself, what is this teaching me right now?
Right.
Because if you walk away from that situation without learning anything, without seeing it from a different perspective, you're going to end up reliving that situation.
It's a cycle. Yeah, it'll
It's
repeat
a
until you
cycle that you're
learn.
going to repeat over and over and over until you say enough is enough. So while you're in it, learn the lesson because there is a lesson in it, even if it's just to calm the fuck down.
Mhm.
Learn that lesson so you can move forward differently without having to repeat it.
Yeah, and see the pause as the gift, because some people don't get a pause. Some people get
Yeah,
set
some
down,
people
or
don't get a
something
pause.
happens, or they get sick, right? Like, there's different versions of this pause. Whatever pause you have, see it more as an opportunity, like you said, to learn the lesson and also to strengthen your connection. Yeah.
So most of us are on social media, and social media plays a big part. Social media is beautiful for reaching people that you would never otherwise reach because you can't touch them. You can't reach out and touch them. You can reach people from all over the world via social media. But social media can also have us playing that comparison game. Oh, well, they're here, they're doing this. I know when I graduated, when I got out of the military, I always used to see people from high school, and some people were doctors, and some people were lawyers, and some people worked in a warehouse, and some people did security, some people did this and this and that. And I was like, well, what's my title? What's my thing? What am I gonna be? Who am I? What am I? So I was playing that compare and contrast game. And I felt at the time like, oh man, I'm behind. I'm behind. I'm behind. And I don't know how I'm gonna catch up. What would you give people who feel like the pause is slowing me down and I'm
Mhm.
behind right now?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
they're doing that comparison thing.
Yeah. So, yeah, that is very very common, and like you said, social media is the space that can really, like, amplify a lot of that. So, I would say okay, so when I think about falling behind, I think of it as maybe there's a goal that I set, that I had this idea of how long it was supposed to take me, and it's taken longer than I expected it to take. Or, like you said, it's comparing myself to others. I'm behind because they're there and I'm here. So, like, well, we have to remember, like, it's not really in our control, the how or the when. What happens now is really the choices that we make in the present moment. So I know people don't like to hear that. Just focus on the present. But if you don't understand what that means, or it gives you like this ick in your body, that means it's time for you to seek out what that really means, because the present is really the only thing that you have. And so, like, this thing of like falling behind, it's a mental trick, it's a mental cycle. It's almost like falling behind really was only created by us saying it and kind of doing the things online. Oh yeah, you're behind, you're supposed to be in this grade. There's always these levels, right? There's these measurements of success that we created. But again, we created all of it. We made it all up. So if you think you're behind, it's really more than just you thinking you're behind. It's something within yourself of you not being accepting of where you are, what you're
Yeah.
doing, how you are. In acceptance means, no, you're not accepting that, okay, like if I'm feeling awful, I need to feel awful forever. No, it's accepting that that's where I'm at, but I can choose choices that are in line with what I would prefer instead going forward. So it's like you have to dive deeper into the idea of falling behind. You have to see it for more than what it is. It's just how you're evaluating yourself. And so that negative self-talk is really just going to keep creating the stuff, because you could reach the number, or you could reach the goal, but you're always going to feel like you're behind, or that like someone's you need to catch up
Especially
to
if you
something.
are comparing yourself to other people
Exactly.
when you really don't even know what phase of their life they're in. You don't know what
Exactly.
it took for them to be able to get where they are now. You don't even know if it's true based on social media, if
Right, they
we're
can show
being
you
completely
whatever they
honest.
want.
So
Yeah,
accepting that your journey is
yours.
unique to you. We are all on the same journey back to source, but we're all taking different paths to get there. And no path is the right path, no path is the wrong path. They are the fruits of our labors in our creatorship.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
really honing in on what you want to create and checking in to see, am I taking aligned actions to reach this goal that I set for myself? If you are taking a small step towards that every day, then you are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. And I like the main character idea too. Like, see it as the story in a movie. Like, it wouldn't be juicy if you showed up to the movie and 15 minutes in, the hero got what they wanted. Like, that's boring. And
Right.
Source is not here to be boring. So although it might be uncomfortable, right? Like, your soul is eternal. This is something that's going to be etched forever, and you just need to see it as the juicy story, and through that you're just learning. So the falling behind maybe is the wake up call that you need to start to make choices that are more in line with where you actually want to be.
Right. Because if you ask yourself, am I taking steps that are in alignment with my
Consistently.
goals and where I want to be? And your answer is no, then this pause is for you to gain clarity about that.
Yeah.
Speaking of, If you could describe a divine pause in 3 words, what would those 3 words be?
It would be peace,
Mm.
presence, and surrendering.
Ooh, I like that.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mine would be awareness, observation, and clarity.
Mm,
Because we oftentimes need to pause before taking our next step. So the step that we think we're taking forward really is not a step backwards.
mhm.
So I hope you guys got something from this conversation. And if you have been feeling like you need some motion and things aren't working or moving as fast or as quickly as you want them, this brought you some sense of clarity and some practical action steps that you can take so that you can anchor yourself back in the present and realize that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. As always, you can find me at therealgoddessgateway.com. Kia, please let the people know where they can contact you if they are interested in your services.
Yes, you can find me on my website, harmonyvibecoaching.com, whether it's life coaching or business stuff. Everything is linked through there. Yeah.
And remember, it is your right and your responsibility to create a life that you love, deserve, and desire. Until next time,